we've got our eye in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We always do. People call us LSU homers, and hey, we kind of are. We play favorites sometimes here. I have no problem admitting the biases that we have on this channel. I'm in a position where I can do that. So last year, we were on the LSU train early and often. They proved us right. They treated us very well. And so people called us LSU homers, and yeah, I was pulling for them. And hey, if I pick them this year, guess who I'll be pulling for again this year? I have no problem admitting that. But I can also fairly critique them when they need to. So, when they need critiquing. So, I'm looking in the Twitter inbox today, and Jeb sends me this. It's a little bit longer, but I'm just going to read the key parts here. Jeb asked me, how would you handle the running back position at LSU for 2020? With Clyde Edwards-Helaire gone, LSU has 3 viable starters. I think running back's ability to block is an important aspect of what LSU's offense is now. Do you see running back by committee, a 2-back system, or the emergence of a true RB1, feature back in other words, at LSU? Here's been the overall refrain from LSU. The glass half full crowd, of which I'm a part of, says that the pieces may be gone from last year, but the culture is in place and the system is in place. I'm not of the belief that because Joe Brady left and Joe Burrow got drafted, that all of a sudden you're going to have Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble in the backfield and you're going back to square one. I don't think that's what LSU's offense is going to be. But as I say that, let's remember what the key was last year for LSU. And I'm going to mention another key in just a second, but talent, more so than anything else, is how you win in major college football. That's not breaking news. LSU had a lot of talent last year. Some other teams had a lot of talent too. You know what else LSU had? They had versatility, a lot of it. This is what made defensive coordinators pull their hair out at night. It wasn't just the talent, it was the versatility. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, a guy you just mentioned, is a perfect case study on what made them so lethal last year. I'm going to tell you why. On 3rd and 1, he's the guy you wanted on the field. 2nd and 12, he's the guy you wanted on the field. 3rd and 7, he's the guy you wanted on the field. Why? Because he can pick up yards between the tackles, he can hit the perimeter, he can pick up blitzes. He's very good in pass protection, and he was excellent, better hands than some receivers out of the backfield. There was nothing he couldn't do. They were also that way at some other positions, most notably the tight end position, for example. LSU last year, what am I telling you? They didn't have to sub. They were very versatile. They were multiple. And so you had guys that could run power for you, and then 15 seconds later, you're going 4 wide. And as a defensive coordinator, you're looking and saying, aren't they supposed to have to substitute? Well, yeah. Typically, you'd see substitutions there because typically the guys capable of doing one thing aren't always capable of doing the other thing. You can be a bowling ball or a fighter jet. You're not supposed to be able to do both. They could be both last year. Versatility with the talent was key for them, which brings me to your question. Do I see a running back by committee approach? I hope not, because that ain't going to work for LSU. What LSU wants to be offensively, it's not an offense that is tailored to, let's do running back by committee. And I think that maybe some people are envisioning that this year, and I'm not interested in hearing that for them. They need a feature back. Believe me, they need a feature back. I hear running back by committee with LSU, and what I hear is stalled drives. I hear 1 possession losses. That's what I hear if you tell me they're going running back by committee. Now, here's the thing. Here's the plus side. They do have 3 guys that have all SEC upside to them. This is not a situation where, you don't have a closer in your bullpen, so you're going closer by committee. That's not one of these. All 3 of these dudes that we're talking about, Price, Curry, and Emery, they can all tote the mail. They would all be bona fide starters, no question feature back candidates for 95% of the teams out there. Last year, you had Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and you didn't really worry about any of these other names all that much. In the bowl game, I think Curry got the start in the Peach Bowl. I think that's who it was. And he's a guy who has a unique running style. Tyron Davis-Price is very violent. John Emery's the guy that a lot of people, myself included, thought would burst on the scene last year. I remember talking to a personnel guy who said, man, it may not be in week 1, but like when Emery gets on the field, he's going to make you forget about everyone else. There were people around LSU and who observed LSU who actually thought John Emery was going to overtake Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now think about how crazy that sounds once you saw how the season played out. Well, he struggled mightily in pass pro, was not the best with his hands out of the backfield, and so Who has that complete package here? Again, as I told you, this is not a situation where they're looking around and saying, ooh, no one has the capability to do everything we need. No, they think they have the capability. I'm just telling you, if you're of the belief that LSU is going to be fine this year because they still have the same system in place and we think Miles Brennan's going to be a good enough quarterback and we have faith that, Dare Rosenthal can hold down left tackle and we feel good enough about all these other pieces, you better feel good enough about having a feature back. Because if you're second and 12 and you're having to sub in and out, all of a sudden those defensive coordinators breathe a sigh of relief and they get set and they sub, and all of a sudden a lot of those scramble plays, those improv plays, those easy first downs you found last year, they're gone partly because you take a step down in the caliber of quarterback you have, but also your offensive effectiveness takes a step back because you don't have the element of tempo like you did last year. So, no, I don't think running back by committee is something Ed Orgeron is interested in at all this year. The follow-up question, and I think it's going to take a little while for us to figure this out, maybe even into and including the regular season, is who is it going to be? I believe someone will step up. I don't even have a betting favorite right now. I mean, Curry is who I'd probably go with. I don't feel confident in that. I think Emory's the most talented out of those three. Is this table made of wood? I don't know. Regardless, we'll see, and time will tell there.